that's kind of a funny story. I agonized over the video. Everybody said, they say on the Kickstarter site, everybody said about me, you have to have a really good video, a really good pitch. That's what hooks people. They said most people aren't going to look at those 5 chapters, but if they like your video, they'll donate to the campaign. And I wrote a script, and I had my older brother film me, sitting like Alistair, what's his name from what was that show on PBS?
On PBS, yeah, I can't think of it.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Great classics or whatever it was called. And I'm sitting there in a chair trying to look comfortable, talking about my book in an erudite way, and it was just horrible. It was stiff and boring. And then another friend of mine who's a PBS reporter said, well, why don't we do like a little interview in the studio, a mock interview, and that can be the video. And I thought, that'll be okay, but I was agonizing over it. And then I was sitting at a friend's house one day. They were out running some errands, and I was waiting for them to get home. And I'm sitting there, and I'm agonizing over how can I make this interesting and funny. And then I said, to hell with it. And I grabbed my iPhone, and I got into the closet in their house, and holding my iPhone, I did that in like 10 minutes, shooting myself with the iPhone. And then I sent the pieces, because I did a bunch of different takes and everything. I sent them to my younger brother, who's an actor and a filmmaker, and he edited it and put the special effects in and made it more, jiggly and it's got sort of a Blair Witch quality to it.
Right.
And it was just, it's the kind of thing, it was like you can plan and plan and plan, but then it's that accidental moment of inspiration that ends up working.
Oh, my God. It really does. Silly. It's so funny. David and I both said the same thing. We were waiting for somebody to come out and grab you or something.
I know.
You're waiting for that jump moment when somebody grabs you.
I know it.
Oh, I'm so glad.
I did have a question. Matt, I did have a question, though, while I was watching the video. I said, have you looked into guard dogs?
Yeah.
I should.
Yeah.
I should. Oh boy.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, it's worth it alone just to go on the Kickstarter page to see that video, and people would definitely donate, I think, just from that. But I really would like to advise our listeners to read those first 5 chapters, because it's something that you will not be able to wait until that book comes out, so you can read the whole book.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And not only that, I mean, you have, more books to come. David, I think you had a question about that.
Yes, you said this is going to be the first in a series?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
How many do you plan for the series?
It depends on how long I live.
No.
I would like to. The guys who I idolize are the people like John Sanford, where he, there's a Prey novel that comes out pretty much every year. And after writing this first one, even though it took me longer than that, part of the reason it took me longer than that, as I said, was just that idea of like, can I do this? So you'd put it down, you'd stop doing it. Now that I know I can do it, towards the end of that book, I got into a rhythm where I was writing for a period of time every day. Mm-hmm. So now I'm able to do that and know that once this book is out there, I'll be able to sit down and have the next one ready within a year. And I have the idea for the next book pretty well plotted out. The pitch that's also on the Kickstarter page. The description of the story in the next book is out there, and it's actually a little darker. I would say that In the Country of the Blind gets darker as it goes, because it starts with this guy who's a little lost, and as he goes on this journey, it turns somewhat dark, but it also gives him a reason for being and a purpose in life. And in the next book, we go further down that dark road, and he becomes more firm in his resolve to play this role in the world.
And he meets that hooker then, right?
He will meet that hooker, yes. Actually, the woman who gave me the money can't be that character in this book, because the sex trade worker in the next book, who is it's a woman. Her name is Ming Jia, and she is a worker in a massage parlor. And
okay.
there's this horrible underworld in New York and really throughout the country, where there are these basically modern day slave trade workers in this under the radar industry that have these terrible, difficult lives. And part of the story in the next book revolves around this young woman who's in that world, who somebody tried to rescue her from it.
Now, see, you already got me hooked on that one, too, so let's get it moving.
Okay. Well, it's been interesting to be doing research into that world. It's a very, very disturbing world but there's so much money involved in it that it's very hard to stamp out anything that has that, like the drug trade.
Right.
How do you go after something where there's that much money to be made? People are always willing to take it on.
Right. And it's usually involving, younger kids, too, especially, the sex slave industry, and that's something that should be stopped. But then again, how do you stop it? Like you said, it's all money. So it's very hard, but you just have to try to teach your children. Unfortunately, most of the kids come from different countries, though.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Well, for our listeners, if you go to kickstarter.com, you type in the country of the blind, and you'll get Matthew's page. If you just donate $1, you'll get an e-card thank you and a listing in the special acknowledgments webpage for the novel on Matthew's website. His website is matthew-arkin.com. One other question before I give out all your follow information, your social media, and that is, how did you come up with the title of the book?
The title of the book comes from an old saying, in the country of the blind, the man with one eye is king. And it ties into the plot in two ways. One, that Zach doesn't know what's going on, but he's willing to look at things with his eyes wide open, as other people aren't. He's the one who's asking questions. Mm-hmm. And then the other way it ties into the plot would be a spoiler if I
okay, then don't say.
So I'm not going to. But this idea of that the person who allows themselves to see more has more power than you do.
Okay. That makes sense. Well, for our listeners, follow Matthew on Twitter at Arkin Studio and Blind Country, which is for the book. And you can also go to his Facebook page, which would be facebook.com/In the Country of the Blind. And then again, don't forget his website at matthew-arkin.com. Donate $1 or more. I mean, I have 2,000 followers, a little over 2,000 followers on my personal Twitter alone. If you all gave $1, I mean, that adds up really quick.
Oh,
yeah. And if you think about it these days, when you do purchase a book, it's going to run you anywhere from $15 to $20 or $25 or so, because you pay for the book, you pay for the tax. If you have it shipped to you from Amazon or somewhere like that, you got to pay shipping. And in this case, you're going to receive a signed first edition paperback along with that, laminated cover art bookmark.
Yeah, and the $25, there's no tax put on top of that. You get the book. You're not paying shipping. You pay the $25 and it's all done.
Right, exactly. And then you also still get that e-card and the thank you e-card and acknowledgement on Matthew's website, because if you look at each of the perks, they, as they go up in donation price, you get the one before, you get all the ones before it, as far as a perk goes. and just to give you an idea, for $50 or more, you get all of the above. So anything that you get for the $25, the $10, or the $1 is included in that $50 donation, along with a signed promotional print.
Right.
And you'll learn about the series, the rewards, and pardon?
There's book club at higher levels. There's book club visits. I'll come and visit your book club, depending on where you live, or do it by Skype if you want me to. There's a mug. There's a T-shirt. All kinds of exciting stuff.
What I also found interesting on there was the brew food book that you put up there.
That's a great book, great recipes if you're a chef. That was published by my best buddy from college, who actually just took the train up here from San Diego this morning. He's at this party with me, and he brought a whole bunch of different wonderful beers up from San Diego for us to try tonight. Because Zach, my main character, is, as you know, I don't know if you've gotten to that part. He's a home brew, he brews his own beer.
He actually was having dinner with Cynthia and had her try a new beer or something.
Right. So this is my buddy who I started home brewing with years and years ago. So we that got incorporated into the book.
That's pretty neat how you can put things in there, that you really did live through, and I can see how that would work besides making up other stuff. Please, listeners, just go ahead and check it out. I know once you get on Kickstarter and you read about the book and watch the video and read the first 5 chapters, you're going to donate so fast your head will spin. Is there any other way that they can contact you? Did I cover all the social media and the website?
Well, if anybody wants to write to me or ask any questions about anything, I can be contacted through my website. There's a link where they can email straight to me through my website.
It says contact.
It's just my name, matthew-arkin.com, and I would love to hear from people.
Yeah, and if you're interested too in having him as your acting coach. If you're a newbie getting off that bus in L.A., contact him.
And even not in L.A., I coach people by Skype. I have students all across the country who use me. Yeah, people who are getting ready for an audition, they contact me, and I'll go over the material with them and work with them on Skype.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. And nice. That's great.
Well, Matthew, we want to thank you for joining us today, and it was a very, very interesting interview, and I hope you enjoyed yourself as well.
I did so much. Thank you both so much for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Now go enjoy your party, and
okay.
I'll smell the barbecue from here.
Okay. Talk to you both again soon, I hope.
All right. Yes, definitely. You're welcome back anytime. Maybe once you start the other book, or, if you do a Kickstarter for that or something, or anything, just reach out to us. We'll be here for you.
Will do. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, I'm telling you, if people just look at that video.
Yeah, I know
I have to laugh every time I think about it, it would be very interesting if he does do another Kickstarter to see what the next video would be like,
Yeah, I know. Maybe he'll have that guard dog in him.
You're right. You never know. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. We really appreciate you tuning in. And, David, thank you, as always, for joining me as my co-host.
You're welcome.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Take-Two Radio. Check out the website at take2radio.com. That's with the number 2. Follow David and my other co-host, who has not been on for a while. It's been mainly me and David, but that's okay, right?
That's all right. That's fine.
You could follow them at Take-Two Radio Crew. Follow us on Blog Talk. They'll send you an email each and every time we schedule a guest, and you won't miss any episodes. Also, you can listen to any of the previous podcasts on iTunes or Stitcher, and Stitcher is a mobile app that you can download to your mobile devices, and those are both free to listen to. And then also, David has an announcement that he'd like to make. Go ahead, David.
Thank you. On July 20th, people